What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with Immersive Engineering. Now today, guys, I am excited, and you guys should be excited too, because if you don't know, there is a brand new Immersive Engineering update. I was just informed and immediately went and downloaded it. It was released about a day ago, and we are now playing with Immersive Engineering version 0.7.0. So this is a pretty awesome update, and we're going to go over all the stuff before we actually jump into it, because there's going to be a couple new multi-block structures that we're going to be making today, and there's also a couple different things that we're going to need to change around the base, because they did alter a few things that kind of broke some of the machines that we have working around here. So if you guys want to know what's in the update and didn't find it on the page when you downloaded the Immersive Engineering update, we can go into Update News. You open up the Engineer's Manual. It is the first tab. It is in all caps with an exclamation point, okay? Super special. And the top one, what's new in version 0.7.0. Click on this. Dear Engineer, that is us. The new version of Immersive Engineering you're playing on features some major changes compared to previous versions, which is awesome because we were just finishing up with a lot of the different things that we had the option to mess around with. And I was starting to worry that we weren't going to have many projects that we could work on, or it was going to take a while to actually jump into them. But now we have some new stuff that we can mess around with. So a new component has been added, which is metal plates, and these are pretty much going to be used in some of the new recipes, but they do not replace ingots. So that's pretty cool. And to get these, you can use either the engineer's hammer, and from what I've read, it doesn't say it in here, but I believe it creates a durability on your hammer. We can test that out today. But you can also make it in a metal press. Now, this is one of the multi-block structures I was talking about. So we can click on it and it will jump here. Metal press under pressure. So it actually is really simple to make. This is one of the smaller multi-block structures. It's not one of the heavy machinery ones. So pretty much it's an automated way of shaping metal. And you can use this to press a plate, rod, or other metals. And essentially, you're going to create it and you're going to get a UI where you're going to input the pattern, whether it be the gear pattern, which I don't actually think they've implemented the gears in yet, the plate pattern or the rod pattern, and then you'll just send the ingots through. It will press it, and of course it does use power. You can see at the very top it does have a power input on it, and obviously you're just going to send it through whatever the direction the conveyor belts are going. So it's really simple, really cheap, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to make that today, and we're actually going to be using this because we are going to need some of the plates. So if we continue going back to where we were, we can continue reading about this. So this page is where all the fancy stuff happens. So although it was fun getting a new multi-block structure and some new crafting things, this is the real big change that kind of messes with our base a little bit, and this is what we have to alter. So along with the new plates, we also have the creation of the improved blast furnace. Now, what this means is that the old blast furnace that we have downstairs becomes the worst version, which is the crude blast furnace. And the big thing right down here, if we look at crude blast furnace, it cannot be automated, which is a big issue for us because obviously if we, run back down here, this is automated in here. So this is right now the crude blast furnace, and it's in our steel factory, and the whole idea is that it's supposed to be automated. So if we come in here, pull this out, there's a bunch of coal coke that's collected over here, but it can't go in there because we can't automate this. So that's a big issue. Another thing, you may notice that there is a new slot in the UI over here, and that is for slag. They now produce slag, so it's not actually that bad. I think we should be able to just pull it out of this hopper once we get the improved blast furnace put down, but we need to make that first and set that up to be automated. So you can see that it has also made some changes to the arc furnace, and the reason behind this is just because if you think about it, with the improved blast furnace, it says that it is a much faster way of creating steel and obviously automatable. So if the blast furnace and the arc furnace used to be the only two options, and the arc furnace was supposed to be better than the blast furnace. If you upgrade the blast furnace, you're going to need to upgrade the arc furnace too, just so that it can kind of still be a better option to create steel that's more expensive. So they've adjusted that a little bit too. So those are the big changes. There's no other pages, only 2 pages, pretty big wall of text on one of them, but we are going to start messing around with some of this stuff right now. So you can see in my inventory, we actually should, you know what, I need to go grab a piston real quick. That's the one thing I forgot, but we should have everything else aside from that to actually make the metal press, and we're going to need to do that because if we take a look right here, you can see, if you notice I mentioned before that there were the different presses. I said there were 3 kinds. You have the plate mold, you have the gear, which I mentioned I don't think it's in here yet, but then you also have the rod. And I don't actually see gears. If you think these are gears, they're not, they're shaders. but I don't actually see gears anywhere in here, whereas you do see the plates, you do see the rods. Maybe I'm just missing it, I don't know yet, but I don't know if we actually have any use for those yet, or they're gonna put those in. So yeah, but we need to make the mold too, so we'll do that down here. And we're gonna be using a lot of steel plates, because if we go over here, you can see that we have the reinforced blast brick. And all it really is just the blast brick that we're going to need to break over there, and a steel plate, which of course we can make using the engineer's hammer and a steel ingot, or we can make using the metal press, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to take a bunch of steel from here, and we're not even going to need this much. We're probably going to need like 20 some pieces, but I'm planning on setting up the metal press down here, considering most of the time we're probably going to be using it with steel, so it only makes sense that it's in our steel factory. So we're going to need some conveyor belts, eventually some chests, some steel scaffolding, and a piston. So the build itself takes 3 steel scaffolding, 1 piston, 1 heavy engineering block, and 3 conveyor belts. So we're going to set that up real quick, and I'll probably just put it right up against the wall over here. Let me try and line it up with this, just so that it's a little bit easier when we wire the power over. So we do that, and get the heavy engineering block down up here so it's easier to put this down. Oh my gosh. Can I get this down any way that it's going to be... Oh, it's trying to make me climb up those. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to dig down one here, so we can put this down correctly. Okay, there we go. And does it take 2 conveyor belts like this? Okay, game. I've definitely put down a conveyor belt before. What is this achievement, guys? Let us look at this achievement. Place a conveyor belt? Okay, I thought it might be like place a ton of conveyor belts, in which case it would have made sense, but like, pretty sure I've placed a conveyor belt, game. Updating mods. What a hoot. Okay, there we go. So it actually only takes 2 conveyor belts, and it just puts one in here manually. I mean, automatically, not manually. So I think we should be able to just put a chest here, and we probably need a hopper attached to a chest here if we were going to do that, so I guess we can't. But if we were to click on this, let's see where we have to click to get the UI. Not there. Anywhere? Where do we click to get the UI to insert this? Guys, I don't know where we insert the actual press. You know what? Let's just make it real quick, and then we'll mess around with it. So we're going to be using the engineer's hammer to make the initial 5 pieces. Now, keep in mind, you don't actually... Okay, so it does get durability. But if we take a look at the recipe for this, we don't actually need 5 steel. You could use any plate. I just have steel on me, so why not? We're also going to need more steel eventually, so it's fine. Now, keep in mind also, you don't need to make this to actually get the steel plating. Like, I didn't... You know, I could just make the 27 steel plate that we're going to need to upgrade each block in this, and just go from there. But I wanted to make this so that, you know, we can mess around with some of the new stuff. So I actually need to quickly run upstairs so that we can throw this into a crafting bench. And let's see. Okay, so there we go. So we got the press mold for the plate, and hopefully we can figure out, maybe we just right click on it with this mold and it'll put it in there. That might be how it works. Yeah, okay, so it puts it in there. Pretty awesome. You can see it right there. I bet this is going to have a really awesome animation. So we're going to use medium voltage wire, and we're going to have to put... I should have put a piece of cobble down there. I just wasted that. We can easily wire this across. Should not be more than 16 blocks. Let's go. Jump up there. No. It's treating that like a full block. Oh my gosh, game. Let me... There we go. Okay. We got it, guys. Don't worry. So let's see this animation here. I'm pretty excited for this, actually. Let's try throwing all 27, and let's see if we have to do them one at a time or if we can just do all 27 at once. So let's see that. No? No? What if I did... What if I did one at a time? Okay, let's try putting a conveyor belt down first, then let's try doing it. Let's see how this works. Okay, so there we go. So it can only do one at a time, so... Okay, that's a pretty awesome animation, though. So a hopper probably would be relatively good for this, so that it separates them. Actually, no, because you know what, it just needs to not be on there. So the problem was, it needs to go one at a time, so I guess a hopper would be fine for this. That'll probably be the best setup. This just kind of looks a little glitchy right here, but they need to go one at a time so that it can, you know, press them down. And how many have I thrown in there? We need 27, so I guess we can throw down just like, I don't know, let's try throwing that many down. No, I picked some more back up. Throwing 4 more down. Let's just throw all 8 of those down right there. And let's start breaking this. So we need to break this because obviously we need to get all the 27 blocks back and then recreate them. And this is, oh no, come back here. Okay, we need those. I should probably break this hopper right here just so that that doesn't happen. Or it'll send it all the way upstairs with our new item elevator. Okay. So I gotta tell you guys, I was pretty excited. I got a comment. I woke up pretty late today, and I was trying to think of what I was gonna do, and I got a comment on my, I believe it was on my channel page, and I saw it, and it was like, there was an Immersive Engineering update, and I immediately just had to go and find it and start playing. So this is pretty much like I'm recording this like right after I saw it. I think I'm gonna wait to upload it to my usual time, but I'm playing this like relatively soon after the update, or after I was told about the update. Oh man, we were 1 off, guys. We were 1 off. Darn it. Okay, so we got the reinforced now. I assume we just place it down the same way. Now keep in mind, guys, I have not tested automating this, so I'm going to assume that you automate it the same way, but if not, we may have to fiddle with the system here a little bit. So let's do that and click on the front. No? No? Doesn't want to form it? Why does it not want to form it? Okay, let's try clicking. Maybe it looks different. You know what? I don't know. I didn't think that it might look different. Let's click on the improved blast furnace. Okay, so improved blast furnace is a more professional way of creating steel. Not only does it allow for automation of in and outputs, it can also be outfitted with preheaters to speed up the refinement by additions of hot air. Okay, so this is definitely going to look different. The furnace is made from reinforced bricks, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so it's just... What? Hopper added at the top to funnel the inputs in. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of tinkering with how we actually input the items, because right now I'm just pushing them into the side. So let's get, do I have, oh I do, I have a hopper right here, but that's not the one that we want. Oh my gosh, I should not have used all those hoppers for the dropping plates. Darn it. Okay, so we're gonna actually have to run outside real quick. Here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna run out here. And we're going to come over. We're going to run the excavator for like we're going to run it for like 5 seconds. And let's see actually how much we got going over here. Wow, we got a lot of plant oil, so we could actually run this for a while. It's going to be a little loud. We're going to let this run for a little bit just so that we can get 5 pieces of iron. We need 5 pieces of iron. That should be, we can go cancel it now. There we go. And we should have, I think we should have 3 pieces of iron right now. 4. Okay, awesome. More than enough. More than enough. And I could actually keep this running if I really wanted to, but I will wait until I'm off camera to run that. Just because I like to turn it off before we actually fully run out. And it starts like doing this awkward thing where it's burning. It's not getting enough input to actually consistently run it. I don't know why that kicked that off there. And I think we can try and grab this before, we can just sit here and pick these up before they go upstairs. Just because they're about to go up our awesome item elevator. Should be done soon. That's so loud. Okay, let's move. Let's move half this iron over here. And we only need 5 pieces. We already have the chest that we need 2, so... Didn't think you would need a hopper at the top of that. That's so weird. That is very weird. Okay. So, let's do this. And there we go. The rest of it can go upstairs. Let's watch it, guys. Haha, boom. Now it's upstairs. Awesome. Okay. Moment of truth, guys. Moment of truth to see if we need to adjust this little center area right here. Oh my gosh, please no. Please don't tell me that this is going to dig into the ceiling. Oh my gosh, this is not good. Okay. It's a little unfortunate just because I don't know how much room we have between the ceiling and the floor right above us. Oh, we do have 1 space. Okay. I was afraid we wouldn't have space to dig up. Okay, there we go. Now let's click on it, see what it looks like. Whoa! That looks so weird! That looks so awesome, but it also looks so very weird. This looks so weird, and it doesn't even register these like full blocks. It doesn't even, look at this. It doesn't even, that's so awesome. Okay, guys, so now we need to learn how to automate this thing. Does it output anything out the bottom? No. Okay, so here's what we might do. What we might do is we might break this. We might shift it all down one because, yeah, we're going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to break that, and then we're going to break the very top layer in that hopper. And the reason we're doing this is because I want to make sure nothing gets carried up there. It's because before we were outputting stuff out the bottom, but now it looks like there might... Wait, what? Guys, did we just find a bug? Guys, we just found a bug. We just found a bug. Bug and a half. Okay, so we did it here first. You know what I'm going to do to expedite this process is we're going to break all of these bricks, and then we're going to break the hopper too, and we're just going to destroy these items, and we're just going to... We'll just destroy this. We can go destroy this because it's buggy. It's going to say we wouldn't destroy this and we would destroy the rest, but... Whoa, did I lose some? Did I lose some of these reinforced when I broke it? No, there's one up here. I think I lost one. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, because this is a bug and we want to be fair, actually, we can do it right here. We're going to keep this one, which is the equivalent of one hopper and 27 of these blocks, and we're just going to crush these and one hopper because that's fair. Okay, guys, so we are back, and note to self, note to everyone, do not throw the blast bricks into the crusher. Okay, don't throw any of this new stuff into the crusher because it corrupted my world. Okay, luckily I was smart enough to, before I actually even put in the new version of the mod, I made a backup of the world, so I was able to get it back. All I had to do was recreate this right here. So we're redoing all of this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So just do not throw any of this new stuff into the crusher. I will report this as a bug. Hopefully it won't ruin any of your worlds, but do not throw the improved blast bricks or the glitching multi-block turned single block in there either. Okay, don't do that. It was actually definitely the improved blast bricks because, or the reinforced blast bricks, because those in the hopper were the only things thrown in there, and a hopper wouldn't glitch it out. So do not do that. That was very bad. That was a bad idea. So now, oh my gosh, okay, we're being sucked into the system. We get to break this again, and this time we're not going to screw up. We're not going to glitch out that block in our world, okay? I will also report that as a bug, don't worry, because that was clearly a bug. It should not be giving us the multi-block as a single block and then 26 of the blast furnace bricks back. That was a little weird, but, you know, maybe it's better like this, guys. Maybe it's better that I don't ever get my hands on the item, that my world with the glitchy item crashed. It's now corrupted, can never be used again. So this time I made the right amount of steel, don't worry, or steel plating. So we need to set this up correctly the first time, I guess, so that we don't get that glitchy block, or else we're gonna have to throw it. We're gonna have to throw it in lava or something, or we'll put it in a chest somewhere. So I don't know if we actually, let's take a look in the book first. This time let's try and be proactive, be smart. Let's look at the update. Let's scroll over to blast furnace, and let us see if it tells us anything about automating it. So hopper at the top to automate it. I should have looked at what it looks like. It looks pretty cool. So it looks like the input is going to be at the very top, unfortunately, and then steel is output out the front of the furnace, slag at the back. The furnace will automatically output to connected inventories or conveyor belts. Iron and coal coke are fed through the top. So what is fed out the sides? Is that just for looks? Are these on the sides just for looks? I guess so. I guess so. I guess those are just like vents then. So the outputs are through the front and back. So we got to output it through the front and back. And then we need to output, or we need to input it through the top. So we are going to construct this thing right over here. We're going to do it right here. I'm going to move this. So we're going to put it right next to this guy, right over here. Now I'm going to try and keep this as compact as possible because the whole idea behind the steel factory was that it was as compact as possible. So this kind of screws with that a little bit, so that sucks, but we will make do. So we're going to throw this hopper. Where did the hopper go? Where did the hopper go, guys? We had a hopper in here somewhere. I definitely broke a hopper that was down here. I don't know where it disappeared to. It is 100% not in my inventory right now. InventoryTweaks isn't screwing with me. It might have gotten carried upstairs to our storage system. Time to go look and see if it got carried upstairs to our storage system. If not, we get to go outside and get more iron. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Did it get... There we go. It got carried upstairs. It got caught in one of the conveyor belts. Oh my gosh. Okay. Can we drop down through here? Do we get... I think we get caught on that. We definitely do. Interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. We're back downstairs. Don't worry. And... we gotta get up there. Gotta get up there to place this. You know what? I'm gonna do stone bricks this time. Because I am smart. And we will not waste these. Okay. There we go. We're still going to click on it on this side, and the reason is because of how we want to actually be outputting stuff from this. So, we're going to do this. We're going to click on it on this side, okay? And then it's going to output stuff out the front. It's going to output stuff out the side. So we may eventually be moving this. We'll probably be moving this, but we're going to do... Here's what we'll do. Here's what we will do, guys. So for this one, we're not actually going to move this. We'll leave it here. And we're going to wrap this around like so. Like so. And we will drop this chest somewhere like right over here. Right over there. So eventually we'll have like an input chest here and the output chest here. And then this one, they're going to be running below it. And we're going to just have to adjust this real quick so that it's going the correct way. So it's going to output onto this, and we're going to run it right over here to this. This is where we want these to go. So the main reason why I don't want to have the output right here is because on the off chance that steel is popping out of here, I don't want it going into our inventory. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this back side. It's a little bit easier here because there's nothing that it's really going to connect to. And what was this here for? This was here for dropping the... Oh, it's for this. Okay, so we still need this to be here. I don't know why I just rotated that. So everything should be going where it needs to. The only thing left is to put the items in the top. So we are going to use a trick that someone suggested. I can't even think of who suggested it, but it was a way. I think it was Zol. I think it was Zol, to upgrade to make it a little bit of a more compact item elevator. So I'm just going to do this to show you guys. We can stack these items on top of each other, and assuming the item has nowhere to go. So let's look at this right now. So typically we would be outputting the coal coke and the iron to the east. So if we were to get rid of, I think if we were just to get rid of this right now, it should go up. It should try and output it up. And what is up right now? Top is that. So we're going to do this. We're going to put just a random block in these. And the reason we're doing this is so it doesn't try and insert. I don't think it could insert it back into itself, but we're going to do that just to make sure that it doesn't randomly try and insert it anywhere. And we're going to eject it out the top again here. Now this is all assuming that we can't input anything in the sides. Unfortunately, I didn't even test that out yet, but I think we need to input it in the top block here. I don't know if we might need to drop it in. I'm not sure. So we're going to have to maneuver around here real quick. So let's just get over here, and we need to build up so that we can access the top, get on top of these conveyor belts. Okay, so it should eject the items at the top, and I think we need to drop them in there. So I don't know if we can just have them drop in. Let's break these blocks and let's get up here to work a little bit better. So it should eject that out the top. You can see it's spitting all of these out the top right to me right now. So this whole setup should be working. Yep, it looks like everything's working perfectly. Just spit all of those out, those ones that were sitting down there in the hopper. I believe it should have been the ones sitting down there in the hopper. And now we're going to rotate these so that they dump in the top. And I want to see if it will go in there, if it just pushes it like that, or if we need to throw a dropping hopper, or a dropper in there, dropping conveyor belt. So those are not getting inserted right now. So let's try throwing in a dropping conveyor belt. And let's see if that works. Okay, so that works. So this whole setup should be working now with dropping the iron in there and the coal coke in there. So we can test that out in a second, see if it works properly. And this is just gonna get this so it doesn't get carried back upstairs. So all the coal coke that was in here, and we can throw the rest of this coal coke in here, and it should be sending it out there. We can see it going into here, and we can just take some stone and cover this back up right here. Don't need to worry about that anymore. And then this will fill up, and the one thing is that the dropping conveyor belt, if it can't drop it in there, the one thing I want to see is if this fills up and we leave items up there and they get to the very end of the conveyor belt line, if they will be able to drop in there. If not, we're going to have to put a hopper up there. It looks like there shouldn't be an issue. It looks like they should collect, and then conveyor belts will keep items on there forever, so you don't need to worry about that. Them despawning. Eventually, I'll probably put a hopper up there just because, but for now we should be fine if these just sit up there. And unfortunately, we don't actually have any iron to test it, but it should work. So, you know what? We will go get some iron, because this is the last thing that we got to do. So we're going to go get some iron. Again, because we got reset, I don't have any extra iron on me, so we got to go out here and we got to run this thing for a second. Luckily, we only need actually one piece of iron now, just to verify that the slag and everything gets output correctly. Very noisy machine. Okay, so we should be good here. Hopefully the first piece was iron. I think I saw iron. Okay, so we got 2 pieces of iron. Can cook these down, crush them, and then cook them down, and then we can test that it works, and then our setup will be back to normal, and we'll be able to use slag for some stuff, so I guess it's actually better now. But the main thing that I am happy about is that I will be able to report some of these bugs so that people don't actually lose their worlds, because I don't know what you would actually do. Maybe if you removed this mod and downgraded the version, the item would kind of like not exist anymore. I don't know if that would have fixed it, but there was clearly an issue with the item itself being put in there. So I feel like that would definitely happen if you just threw anything that hadn't been registered in the crusher, because the way it works is it's like certain items can go in there and certain items can't, but maybe they like every item they need to go through and say like what happens whenever any item gets thrown in there. So maybe like this item wasn't registered in there, so it didn't know what to do. I think, yeah, we only had 4. So we can try throwing these back in the system and verify that it works. So should get input in here. They should get dropped in there, carried all the way over on the top, and then get put into here, and it should start running. Yep, they're getting put in there. So now it's going to start running. I'm curious how fast this is in terms of ticks, because we're going to have to stand here and watch this thing for the whole time. Another thing is I want to verify that this works. So let's take 1 piece of steel and drop it on there just to verify that it's able to carry it all the way around, that my conveyor belts aren't screwed up. Yep, it ejects it, and there we go. Awesome. So this actually does look relatively fast, which is nice, because I was getting an excess, or no, I might need to add a second coke oven, because I was getting too little coke for the amount of steel that I was making. And now it's just going to be worse, because we're cooking steel down faster, and we're going to be getting the same amount of coal coke. So I do have an excess of coal coke right now, because I put more coal in there than iron, and it kept running. But if you put the same amount in, you would have an excess of iron in here. So we will see that everything is going to get output from these correctly. And we should get 1 piece of steel and I think 1 piece of slag. Yep, there we go. And those will get carried over there to our system, and then they will get brought up. So guys, that's a lot of the new stuff that was in this section. There are probably a couple things that are going to be coming, like gears, and they did say stuff about additional things we can add to this that I haven't really looked into. But I will report those bugs, so just be sure that until there's, any changes, that you do not, screw up your world and corrupt it. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys will have fun with the update. And as always, if you found this video useful, or, just enjoyed watching it, listening to me ramble on about stuff, feel free to give it a like, as it helps me out a lot. If you have any questions or anything, remember, you can post in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later.